Welcome to the Hero's Mind Academy. Today, we're talking about the hero's journey in real life. Life is unpredictable. It's no news to anybody. It's made up of a series of moments that require us to make choices that lead to the next series of moments and more choices. And these all work together to shape the story of our existence over years and decades. And we don't just experience life, we experience the life we focus on. Each of our lives is a story. And if you change the story that you're telling yourself, then you'll change your life. And every great story throughout history begins the same way. The person who becomes the person at the end isn't a hero yet at the beginning. They're just an ordinary person living their normal life. And then something happens that sparks change. Sometimes it's a big dramatic event and they have no choice except to make a change. In some ways, this kind of catalyst is easier because, it usually comes with pain and suffering, which isn't ideal. But the need for change is obvious. The old way is gone and there's no going back. So the need to move forward is the only choice. And oftentimes, it's not so dramatic. It's a voice inside that's whispering, this can't be all there is. I can't go on this way. If you're watching at the beginning of 2026, there's a good chance you feel that whisper right now. It doesn't matter if you're 16 or 46, that feeling shows up for all of us. For some, it looks like school stress and anxiety and pressure to fit in, while for others, it's burnout and exhaustion and feeling like you're drifting through life. No meaning, no purpose. But that feeling is your call to adventure. Every powerful story follows the same pattern. It's called the hero's journey. And if you're unfamiliar, check out my video that explains the hero's journey in more detail. But it goes like this. First comes the ordinary world. And this is your normal routine. It's school, work, practice, homework, bills, responsibilities. We've all developed habits that get us through these areas of our lives day in and day out. And it gets to the point where they kick in automatically. You're asleep at the wheel. You don't even think about your approach or understand why you're doing it this way. Because for as long as you can remember, this is the way you've always done it. But those habits are what hold you back. And the hero's journey begins at the very moment you stop living on autopilot. The Stoics called this attention. You become what you give your attention to. When you pay attention to what your thoughts are telling you and you pay attention to what you're doing and think about why you're doing it that way, then you wake up inside your own life. Things become a little bit more clear. And then this leads to the next stage, which is the call to adventure. That quiet realization that you're meant for more than just this cycle. You feel restless, or you might feel anxious or dissatisfied. That call to adventure is a voice inside yourself, making you aware. It's telling you that something needs to change. And this awareness is the very beginning of every hero's journey. This awakening can be very exciting. It can also be terrifying because fear shows up. It's fear of the unknown, and doubt shows up. The what ifs start running through your mind. Excuses show up because it feels safer to stick with the devil you know, even if it means continued suffering. And finally, as all this is going on, a decision is made. And if that decision was just to keep things going as they are, to continue living a boring, stressed life that feels safe, it would make for a pretty frustrating story, and not one that anybody would want to watch or read about. And luckily, In all of those great stories, the hero steps forward. They cross the line from who they were to who they're becoming. They don't cross this line because they're ready, but because staying the same feels worse. And I'm here talking to you right now because this doesn't just apply to movies or books. It's the blueprint of real life. And in 2026, you are standing inside this moment. For many of us, the modern call looks ordinary. It's not a dragon or a prophecy. It looks like stress, burnout, distraction. But it's deeply personal. A quiet sense that you're meant for more than this routine. It's about becoming who you know you can be. It's a wake-up call about your health, whether that's physical or mental or both. A wake-up call about your confidence. A wake-up call about your purpose. For teens, the call might sound like, I don't want to keep comparing my life to everyone online, because that makes you feel pretty bad. I don't want to dislike myself anymore. I don't want to feel constant anxiety and confusion about the state of the world and my future in it. For adults, it might sound like, I'm tired of being stuck. I want to be proud of myself again. I want to become the person my family needs me to be. It's different lives for all of us, but it's the same moment. This is the modern battlefield. And most people are stuck here because they don't have an operating system for their mind. That's where Stoicism comes in. Not as ancient philosophy, not as quotes on a wall that you can look at, but as a daily operating system for handling pressure, fear, and chaos. Stoicism trains you to control your reactions, to calm your emotions, and take responsibility for your life. It teaches you how to carry your shield when the world gets heavy. And I'm not here to tell you it's going to be easy, because it's not. In fact, it's going to be hard as hell. You'll have enemies you need to face throughout this process. It's not what you might think. The enemy isn't your parents or your teachers or your boss or your past, your current circumstances. The real enemy is comfort. The comfort of avoidance, avoiding hard conversations, scrolling instead of thinking, staying distracted now and promising yourself, well, someday, because you don't have the courage to face yourself right now in this moment. And the Stoics warned that comfort weakens the soul. You need to face challenges to understand what you're capable of. Struggle isn't punishment, it's training. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned about this 2,000 years ago. He said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Action beats fear. Fear lies. And it grows when we sit still. Confidence grows when we move, when we act, because action tells the truth. And a hero understands this. Heroes aren't fearless. They act in spite of their fear. They're decisive. Every hero reaches a moment when they must cross that line from thinking to acting. And they don't wait for perfect timing, perfect motivation, or perfect confidence. The journey begins with a decision and not a perfect plan, because the perfect anything doesn't exist. There is no perfect. There's just the right time. The best time to start anything is yesterday, but the next best time is right now. And heroes don't start by taking dramatic action. They take the first step. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And you'd be surprised about how small that first step can be. Write one page to get your thoughts out there. Take one walk to clear your mind and get your body moving. Lift one weight, do one exercise, put the phone down. Say no to something that's hurting you. That is the moment the story changes. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control, which is understanding the difference between what's in your control and what's out of your control. When you accept that the only things in your control are your thoughts, your words, and your actions, that's the moment that you stop demanding for the world to change and you start changing yourself. The goal of the hero is not success. Most times when they start, they don't even know what success would look like if they achieved it. The goal is character. The Stoics believe that virtue, becoming someone you respect, is the only real victory. So here's my challenge to you for the next 7 days. Write for 5 minutes every morning. Get your thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Bring them into the light. This is the only way you can start to make sense of them. Move your body every day. It doesn't need to be a strenuous workout. You just get outside, go for a walk. Do a couple of laps around the house if you need to. Just get the blood flowing. Get the muscles moving. Start letting your body know that you're gearing up for action here. Remove one destructive habit. What is something you do that would make your life better if you didn't? Do something uncomfortable each day. What's one small thing that you don't like doing or you don't do now, but it would make your life better if you did? That's it. If you're in school, do it before class. If you're working, do it before the day starts. And if you do this, by next week, you won't be the same person you are today. You'll already have said goodbye to the version of yourself that almost didn't even try. This channel exists for people who are ready to answer that call, even if they don't really know how, no matter their age, background, or past. And if that's you, then subscribe. Stay with me on this journey. Start building your hero's mind. And remember that your future self will thank you for what you do next. I thank you for watching, and until next time, stay solid, my friends.